A while ago, I decided to try a new way to start my day. Following director Bong Joon-ho's routine, sorry for the pronunciation, I would wake up at 5 a.m., get dressed, make breakfast, and then start a film. I did this for 5 days straight, and here are my thoughts. I began the week by watching a movie I've kept postponing for whatever reason, and that is 2007 classic comedy Superbad. Superbad's a great movie to start with. When I woke up, I felt ready and prepared to start doing this, so I made my breakfast and let it play. I don't quite know why I would never watch Superbad prior to it, but I'm glad I did. The only downside to an early watch is how the movie follows one day in the lives of the teens, from waking up to going back to bed again, making me feel, at least by the end, as if I already spent an entire day. But it wasn't really an issue, as I thought it was a very fun time. I think comedy as a genre for a morning movie is nice and works really well for a lighter watch. What's nice about watching at 5 a.m. is not thinking about other things or how watching a film will affect my day. Usually, sitting down watching a movie longer than 90 minutes, I have to plan around it, and actually make time. And as a student and someone who has lots of interests, finding that time to sit down and relax and enjoy a longer film is difficult. So waking up and doing it at the start of my day allows me to focus more. I ended up giving Superbad a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's a great movie, and if you somehow haven't watched it already, I totally recommend it. Moving right on to day 2, and I woke up too late. I had to make time for a shower as well, so I didn't have as much time as Monday to watch a film, and I had to cram in some of the film, which made the day just a bit more stressful. I'm an avid oversleeper, but thankfully, oversleeping just a challenge doesn't affect my studying life, which at least made me feel some ease. At the end of the day, I decided to watch A Fistful of Dollars. Well, the start of today. I chose it for 3 reasons. 1.
One!
I've never seen a Western film before. I know. I call myself a movie nerd, and it's the first proper Western I've seen. I mean, sue me. But as someone with a huge interest in movies and movie history, I just felt like something was missing. So there's a great chance to finally catch up on the genre, at least somewhat. Second, it's the first of the Dollars trilogy, with presumably one of the most famous Western movies out there, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So I have to start right at the beginning. Not that it's necessary, but it's a fun watch in the right order. And lastly, it's the first of Sergio Leone I had the pleasure of watching. So, how was it? Besides the initial stress of finding and watching a movie that fit within the time I had, it was a really enjoyable experience. In fact, I think a Western works perfect for the morning. Though, truth be told, I was insanely sleepy and had to keep myself from falling asleep. So here's a quick note to not lay down, because that just made that a whole lot worse. Having the morning light pierce through the blinds while immersing myself in a film as such was something that added a lot to the movie. I think that it's easier to immerse yourself in a film when the outside world is still waking up. You can fully be in the world while still focusing on what you have to do to get ready. It's a nice blend, but it can be stressful. For day 2, I also wanted to change genres. Something to keep the challenge interesting and fresh was to try different kinds of movies per day. I believe that variation is key to what made these 5 days a treat. I expected something different. I think I had a small idea of what a Western was, but it blew my initial expectations. So far, my only point of reference is Red Dead 2, but that's a completely different medium of entertainment as well, so I wasn't expecting anything like that, and I didn't know what I was going into. Day 3 was another day I almost overslept. More so, I stayed in bed too long. And before I'd even realized too long had passed, shit, my original plan was foiled again. However, that's just another opportunity to watch something else I'd planned on watching for a long time. 92's Army of Darkness. Although, yes, I said I was gonna swap genres, I had to make a decision that day, and I landed on another comedy. It's labeled as a horror, but that's off the mark by today's standards. And I think it has definitely gone more to the comedy side in the Evil Dead franchise. So how was it in Mourning? It was strange, especially considering how absurd the movie is. It was especially fun to watch so early when I'm half asleep and a bit stressed. But I think that added so much more to the fun. I laughed out loud repeatedly, which I never do, and it was a lot of fun. Especially compared to Superbad, this movie is more focused on the comedy aspect rather than portraying realistic teenagers. It's a huge recommendation for watching so early, something I wouldn't expect going into it. Rather than feeling overwhelmed, it did a great job waking me up. That and the added energy drink helped me get ready. Before going to day 4 and 5, I want to talk a bit about the effects this whole experiment had. I fully expected not to be able to get up in the morning. Beside the initial feeling of excitement, I thought this would make me more sleepy and unprepared. Rather, I ended up feeling more focused in class than ever before, and a neat side effect was how I felt that my mental health was getting more stable. Beside a few challenges that definitely hit hard that week, I felt myself able to move away from thoughts I previously struggled with. Stuff like overthinking and general stress and anxiety, which plagued me quite a bit. However, watching movies made me more calm and had my mind come quiet just for a few hours. The effect had lasted throughout the day too, helping it stabilize itself rather than becoming spiraling. I definitely recommend giving it a go if you think it can help you. I do want to remind you it's not a fix. It helped me, but it didn't fix what was wrong. Something I feel is very important to know is that it helped for me specifically. It's not for everyone. If you're thinking of trying this for your mental health, I highly recommend getting the movie choice and getting food ready the day before. Some of my mistakes cost me a lot of stress, but it was only an experiment and I didn't know how it would affect me throughout. So this week did help me show my mornings do affect my day way more, and that I should prioritize this time a lot more than I already do. The next 2 days, however, I watched 2 movies which affected me entirely differently, both good and bad. Moving on to day 4, I continued the week with the movie Seven. And oh boy, what a choice that was at 5 in the morning. I'll be honest and say I struggled writing my experience on this one, since I can't fully describe it. The movie, for those who don't know yet, is a heavy crime thriller directed by David Fincher, who also directed Fight Club. It stars Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, who both play detectives investigating a serial killer. Beyond that, I don't want to say too much, but this is a choice to watch so early. I knew directly after watching it that I was not going to have a good day. This was not the pick at 5 a.m., but I won't say I regret it. I have a better memory of what happened in the movie after waking up so early, and I was able to look back on it later during the day and think about what the fuck just went down. I can 100% recommend watching this movie, but I recommend being somewhat prepared beforehand since it is heavy and it has some genuinely disturbing imagery. But moving on to the last day, I watched the longest film this week, Once Upon a Time in America. The extended director's cut running at around 4 hours. And fuck me, that took ages. I want to preface this by saying I don't know if I can recommend this to modern audiences, not due to the length, but due to some topics. Before I get into that though, how was it? What's nice about waking up at 5 a.m. and setting time aside to watch a movie or do things as such gives you a moment to put your full focus on the movie at hand. From my personal view, this is a movie you should see if you enjoy films. Coming again from the previously mentioned Sergio Leone, it is an incredibly well-known epic crime film. Already a long film at 3 hours and 50 minutes, and the extended cut at 4 hours and 10. I'm not entirely so sure which one I saw. It's either the extended cut at 4:10 or the extended uncut at 4:29, but that doesn't really matter. The movie follows our main character and mafia member Noodles. Yes, that is what he's called throughout. David Noodles Aronson is a character you will come to dislike throughout the film's runtime. Him and his mob friends are the main reason I just simply can't recommend this film to modern audiences. On repeat occasions through the film, they take advantage over women and have their way. And it's difficult to see if the film portrays it as positive or negative. My take is that it's negative, and it comes to shape how the characters go about their actions later. And now especially Deborah views Noodles later in the film. Is the film hard to watch because of those scenes? And yeah, no doubt. Is it still a good movie? Undoubtedly. I can't defend the film, however, because I don't think the way it handles such scenes were anything but tasteful. In fact, after those scenes, I consider turning it off. This usually never happens with movies for me, and seeing something that genuinely disturbed me as such left an incredibly sour taste in my mouth for a long while. Other films handle such topics in a way better manner, while still leaving you uncomfortable and shook after, but the way this movie did it, and how often it felt, I just can't leave it. And it's a perfect film, like some people genuinely and understandably do, because if you look away from said parts, it's genuinely amazing. I highly recommend watching it, and watching it so early let me concentrate and get immersed in the lives of the group. There's one moment that I won't spoil that I remember so vividly from the film, and really helped sell the rest of the movie to me strongly. So, the question remains, after 5 days, what did I think? And while I barely managed to get up on time, and some mornings I had to rush to turn a film on, I never felt more refreshed going to school or going about my day. I had so much fun letting myself truly interact with a hobby of mine that I knew was going to stick for days, months, or even years later. I actually ended up continuing this routine for 2 days extra with Fallen Angels by Wong Kar-wai, excuse the pronunciation, and Old Boy by Park Chan-wook. Whatever. Again, excuse my pronunciation there. I highly recommend giving this a go if you also like movies and have a week to spare into doing this. It really left a mark on me, and I genuinely enjoyed waking up every single morning, even feeling excited to just get out of bed and get started. A side note is that I'm recording this months after doing the initial experiment. It was done in May, and I'm recording this right now in November because I've kept postponing it. Because of some fears about copyright issues and not having read up on that with background footage. So this shows that it really did leave a mark, because I've been thinking I have to get it recorded soon. I recommend picking out a different genre per day and see what works best for you. Especially if you plan on sticking with this routine, make sure you have coffee or something to get you going, and have food and such prepared so that you can make it easily. Ending this is difficult, but I want to close off by saying thanks for watching this video. I worked really hard on getting this done, and I had to plan lots to make it happen. I plan to post more videos going forward, and I want to focus on a wide array of topics, so remember to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed, please consider donating to my Ko-Fi link in the description. You can also follow me on other platforms that are right down there in the description. Before closing off, I want to give a huge personal shout out to my girlfriend for doing about all of the art for my channel and still working on it to this day. Big thanks, and huge shout out to other artists who worked for me throughout. Please give the artists a follow and check out their art. Until next time.